All right, this is another episode of the Nigga Diaries. I know it's been a while. This video is going to be called "The State of Wisconsin," which is the state that I live in right now. Before I get into anything, I'll tell you how I got here. In 1950s or 60s, my grandfather's. Let me go back. My grandfather is from Jackson, Mississippi. Okay. He fled to Wisconsin in the late 50s, early 60s for reasons we all know why. How was Jackson, Mississippi in the 50s and 60s? So he fled to Wisconsin for the benefit of his family. This is how I'm, the second generation of my family being born in Wisconsin, aside from my father. Now, Wisconsin is not a bad state if you're one of those black men who just absolutely adore white women, and you're a self-hating black man. With the state of Wisconsin is 98% white. Some people that I ran into from Illinois and even when I was in Morganfield, Kentucky, did not even know that black people lived in Wisconsin. A lot of people say, well, what about Milwaukee? Milwaukee is just a fraction of a city versus the whole state of Wisconsin. Milwaukee's just this. Yeah, Milwaukee might be 90% black, but Milwaukee is one town out of 1,000 towns in one state. Every place else, the only thing black is the dog. I hear this multiple times. Even out here in Wisconsin. Even out here in Madison, even in Green Bay, Appleton, blah 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 blah. 90% of the people are white, except for in Wisconsin. I keep saying Wisconsin, Milwaukee, possibly Racine. Them the only two difference. Now, Wisconsin is, I will call it semi-racist. You know exactly who lives where. If you go to Milwaukee, you can tell who lives where based off of the environment. You know the Spanish or the essays is on the south side. You know the blacks on the north side. You know the whites is on the upper north side. And you know the others or whatever like that's on the east side. Same thing with Madison. Same thing with Madison, where majority of the blacks are on the south side. You can tell who lives where based off the environment. I'll call it the sandbox effect. Where in Milwaukee, the bus won't even take you past 25th Street. Or not even at 100th Street, Mayfair Road. If you got a job out there in Brookfield or whatever the case may be, you have to have a car to get out there. You have to have a car. And you know what? The McDonald's and stuff like that pays better than it does in the inner city. I've been told that the McDonald's out in Brookfield or whatever the case may be pay you $9 an hour versus the ones in the inner city pay you minimum wage. You know what I mean? $2 less or whatever. Wisconsin is no place for a black man. They don't support hip hop. If you notice, if you're a rapper and you're from Wisconsin, such as myself, they don't have a so to speak, an underground or whatnot. Anytime like The Source or Double XL or any hip hop magazine, when they was doing a coast to coast, like who was from where, they skipped Wisconsin. They did Cleveland, they did Detroit, they did Minnesota, and then they skipped over Wisconsin because we don't have an existing hip hop base. There are rap artists here, but it's like they don't get that far. And anytime you mention Wisconsin or rap, it's synonymous with Cuckoo Cow. You know what I mean? Or Ice Moan or whatever like that. But there's a lot of good artists here, but they never leave Wisconsin. That's the problem. And a lot of people say, what about Rico Love? Rico Love, he's here and there. You know what I mean? He might have spent some time in Milwaukee. Hell, Oprah spent time in Milwaukee. Malcolm X spent time in Milwaukee. You know what I mean? But that doesn't mean he represents the culture of Milwaukee, because Milwaukee has no culture. You know what I mean? We go after whoever's hot, and that's the problem. That's the problem that I have with Wisconsin, or the African Americans in Wisconsin, is that we're not trendsetters. We're trend followers. And that's the problem. So then when you have an artist like myself or Black Diamond or anybody else who come out and they don't sound like what's already out, how should I say this? If they don't sound like who's already out, their own people will hate on them. They don't support it. It's not like Vallejo, California, or whatever like that, where if somebody come out with new, they got a hyphy movement. You had your crunk movement. You had all these movements, but Milwaukee, the state of Wisconsin, had no movement. Everybody likes band camp, old world Wisconsin. They want to play guitars and shit like that. This is no place for urban black men. This is no place. If you adore white women, if you want your daughter to grow up talking like, oh my God, like this and shit like that, then bring your ass here. That's my biggest fear for my daughter, is that she gonna grow up. I will say this: Wisconsin teaches black people how to hate black people. They don't teach slavery. They don't teach the civil rights movement. And some lady came up to me, he's like, today's Martin Luther King Day. Isn't he like your ancestor? Like, even the white people don't even know black history at all. That they think the black people out here are just wayward. That we like this for a reason. They don't understand the government conspiracies against us and nothing like that. They just think we crazy paranoid. And they have a motto out here. It's called deny and lie or some shit like that. Or where they're very evasive, extremely evasive. They don't like confrontation. The white people out here are, I put it like this. They'll talk to you, but you'll never be invited to their house. You know, they'll work with you, but they'll never introduce you to their daughter. You know what I mean? To date or anything like that. That's how that works out here. It's like they're semi-racist. You know what I mean? They say that they'll talk to you, and they don't care what color you are, but they'll never let you date their daughter. They'll never let you in their house. They don't even want you in their neighborhood. They be like, oh, you're cool, but stay over there. You know what I mean? That's how it is. This is no place for black men. This is no place for retirement, because the state taxes and the property taxes will eat your ass up. It will eat you up. You don't retire here. Don't retire here. The taxes and hell, I'm paying $765 for this shithole apartment. In Milwaukee, a $765 to get me a 4 to 5 bedroom. Down south, it'll get me a damn near house. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous the amount they charge for like food, clothes, whatever like that, and they don't support urban wear. If you go to any of the malls out here, they don't got Air Force Ones. They ain't got no Doogies. They ain't got none of that. They got runner shoes, New Balances, shit like that. Abercrombie Fitch, they support the white lifestyle. It's not mixed. I don't want my daughter to be raised out here because for the simple fact that it's not mixed, that you got people already, and I don't want to teach my children materialism. But I'll make another video about that. Okay? I'll make another video about that. But this video is about Wisconsin. Wisconsin, if you are a striving hip-hop artist or an actor or anything like that, this is not the place for you. Don't come here. The Midwest is not the place. Yeah, Eminem might have made it. Motherfuckers might have got their little YouTube videos or whatever like that. But you can't get rich off of following the same format. Just because Chief Keef and Soulja Boy did it don't mean you can do it. And everybody coming out with these dance songs like the D-Lo ain't nothing more than the Funky Chicken. Watch the James Brown dance steps video on YouTube and pay attention when he hollers out Funky Chicken, and then go watch the D-Lo shit. It looks like the Funky Chicken. You know what I mean? And people benefit off the lack of ignorance of others. If you don't know your history, if you don't know your artists or whatever like that, and some new artists come out the same thing about that Ludacris Big Sean beef that happened earlier this year or last year, where Big Sean was claiming that, you know, he the inventor of the stop pause flow, and he wasn't. And that shit came out in the 80s. But because people lack of knowledge of things, that he's allowed to do that people are going, wow, man, this motherfucker, you know, he's just brand new. You know what I mean? But he's not. He's not. Every hip-hop artist is following one hip-hop artist format. And can you guess who that is? B.I.G., P.O.P. Everybody's following his rhyme scheme. They always have been. Every new rap artist, from Lil Wayne, okay, if Lil Wayne if Lil Wayne copied Jay-Z and Jay-Z copied Biggie, who's Lil Wayne copying? Biggie. And if motherfuckers is copying Lil Wayne to the point where they're stealing his schemes or whatever like that, and Lil Wayne stole Jay-Z schemes and Jay-Z stole Biggie schemes, then everybody's copying Biggie. This motherfucker been dead for damn near 20 years. Almost 20 years. He was 24 when he died. That man was way ahead of his time. Way ahead of his time. If motherfuckers still to this day is rapping like he did 20 years ago. So, This video is about the state of Wisconsin. I'm not saying, you know, I don't like the fact that they don't support black culture out here. You know what I mean? And the black culture that they do support is stereotype. You know what I mean? They don't try to understand it. You know, I'm tired of these black girls out here walking around with blonde hair, blue eyes, talking like, "Oh my God," like this. Did you see Justin? He's so hot. Like, come on, man, really, really. I don't want my daughter to end up like that. I don't. I want her to have soul, not be naive or ditz. Oh my God, like he was totally checking me out. Like, that's corny. That's corny. I don't belong here. She don't belong here. That's my. I'll probably make a part two. I'm probably just rambling or whatever like that. But the state of Wisconsin is too expensive. It's too fucking expensive, and they make it like that to keep the poor folks out. I get it, but as long as they pay and they welfare laws is too fucking easy. I move out here, right? I'm paying this highest rent to stay in a decent area to get away from that kind of bullshit. Then the apartment managers over here start accepting rent assistance. So then they move in all the ghetto black folk. It's trash in the grass. It's beer in the bushes. You know, some shit you just can't blame white people for. They move you out here to get you away from that, and the first thing you do is trash the fucking neighborhood. Then I go to the gas station, motherfucker outside panhandling, and the gas station like, come on, really? I'm paying $7.65, and the bitch next door is paying nothing because she's poor, and she's younger than me. Get your ass up and work. I can't work. I got a mental disability. I got schizophrenia. They so quick to judge. You know, it's so easy. That's why the people from Detroit and Chicago and Minnesota are migrating here to get on the welfare system. It cripples the community. Welfare cripples the community. It does. It's not helping. Everybody on welfare, everybody on food stamps, it's crippling it because it's making you dependent instead of independent. You know what I mean? But that's another video in itself. So, bottom line, don't move to Wisconsin. You see Chicago went to shit. You see Detroit went to shit, and all of it's coming here. And then they coming up through Milwaukee. And they coming up through Madison. They going up to Green Bay, and they just destroying this shit. Destroying it. This ain't the spot. It really ain't. It used to be a good city. It used to be all right. You know, you make a good living or whatever like that. You know what I mean? You can get whatever you want. Wasn't that many crimes or whatever like that. But motherfuckers... I love black people, but I hate black people at the same time. Because they pride themselves on being the murder capital, we a gang, I'm going to take nothing for nobody, not realizing they hurting their own people. They ain't out there rapping about robbing the white folks. They out there rapping about robbing poor black folks or killing poor black folks. They ain't rapping about robbing and shooting the oppressor. They rapping about robbing and shooting the suppressed. Ain't that a bitch? And they promoting this on TV, and they promoting this, and they promoting this, and they promoting this, and then everybody who's 20 and under fall victim. Then they spend most of their 20s in the club. They spend their 30s in the club, and then when they get 40, I'm gonna get married. I'm gonna go back to school. Got you. Y'all niggas need to watch the guys. Y'all need to read the 40 Laws of Power. Y'all need to wise the fuck up. It's all a game. So this is about Wisconsin. My second video is going to be about raising children.